something. And so, to put it in perspective, section C, obstructions and mark roundings, is 18, 19, and 20. These two have to do with obstructions. 19 is just stuff's in the way, avoid it, and if someone else is going to hit it and you're in the way, don't force them into stuff. All right, done. You could have a starting line where one end of the line is a pier. That ain't happening, right? So let's leave that alone. Rule 20 I'm going to gloss over as well because it's not all that common. And it is common, it's just, I don't know. I'm just going to gloss over it a little bit.
Well, Sean, I mean, like on the lake we have shoal markers. So, I mean, would it,
I mean,
Not really.
they're not moving. You can miss them pretty easily.
They're rarely on our course.
I just don't want to waste the time because 18 is so awesome and obstructions are kind of like, let's put it this way. If Chris and I are in a situation and I see he's going to hit a mark, I'm going to give him some space. I'm just not going to do that to him. And he's not going to do it to me. You're not going to do it to her. She's not going to do it to him. You can't use an obstruction to, you know, it's like a pick, you know, and someone's running along and they hit a wall. Just, that's not just how it works. And so, I'm going to just leave that. I'm just going to gloss over it, to be 100% honest. It just doesn't come up enough to talk about. Rule 20 is an obstruction situation, and I'm going to spend 60 seconds on it, so we go right through all that mark rounding stuff, which is meaty. All right, so you have two port tackers, a starboard tacker. He's the right-of-way boat, right? These two boats are port tackers. This poor guy has to deal with this starboard tacker. He's a port tacker, so he has to keep clear. He's a leeward boat, so he's right away over this guy, but he can't tack into him, right? He just can't. So this guy's in a predicament, and the predicament is a classic Rule 20 situation, and this is a case where hailing's actually required. I'm just going to turn that fan off because it's bugging me. And so it's one of the rare times when hailing is actually required. And what this port tacker here can say is to this guy, because he wants to tack to respect this starboard tacker, he can say, room to tack.
I love that.
And those words and those words only. He can't say something like, hey, I got room to tack. And that guy goes, oh, Rule 20, I got it. And then he can say, you tack. And as this whole enchilada comes together, this guy goes to tack, this blue boat must tack. That's the typical situation. If this guy decides to duck this obstruction, and this guy decides to follow, he can't go back there and boom. He has to allow this guy room to follow around this obstruction. Is that pretty okay?
Clear,
So,
never duck, never duck.
I'm not a big ducker. You're giving boat lengths away, you're losing lanes, unless there's a really good reason to go that way. Maybe there's a lot of bad air, or something like there's better pressure over there, or something that you're right.
Yeah, but when you tack, then you're covered by the boat you tacked on.
Well, it might be more like this, you know, where it's going to be, you know, kind of like that. You know.
Not always
The point
covered.
is,
You might be
this starboard tacker represents an obstruction to this guy. And so you can say, room to tack, and this guy, he doesn't have to say a thing. He can just go, all right, I'm just going to demonstrate my agreement with you by tacking. And then if the words room to tack come out of your mouth, and this guy tacks away, and you duck, you foul,
You lied.
You're a liar.
You're lying.
It's not-
Dave?
It's not only a violation of, it specifically says
Room
this
to
in
tack,
20,
room to tack
but you've also
off.
kind of done some unsportsmanlike stuff.
And you have to follow through on what you said.
You're going to be very unpopular at
You
the
go room to attack and he laughs.
and no way, yeah, no way to say never mind.
Yeah. And it's probably going to get you a man, that sounds cool. And then you're that guy, you know. And it's going to take a while to shake it. And then sometimes people do things when they're, who hasn't been there? And you kind of make a boo-boo, and it's not a big deal. Nobody manipulates and lies and deceives on purpose out there. Most of us are just trying to get away and avoid collisions and get around the marks and win it by boat speed and being in sync with the shifts. You know, most of us aren't trying to go like, how you know,
I gotta screw this guy.
how can I rule 20 this guy?
So
So,
that's a,
Unless you're
Yeah,
match
that's
racing.
right.
well, no one is, and even if it's the two of you and you're many points ahead of everyone else, and even then, I just don't see, you watch the professionals, and they just don't do this quirky, mean, nasty, litigious stuff, mostly because they're just trying to sell sales. You know, they just want people to buy sales, you know, and, I think, so, you know, you watch these guys who are amazing, and they don't get into these little pissing contests, they just don't. So anyway,
they know how to avoid them long before it happens.
cluster avoidance, yeah, yeah. So 19, I kind of glossed over, you know, if someone's in trouble, they're gonna slam their boat into something, give them a chance, and, you know, that's an easy one. 20 is this starboard tack obstruction. There's 19 and 20, we'll hit stop on there, and then we'll, chill so I can never hit play.